guys, happy day 2. So today's when the hammer gets put down and I'm going to talk about nutrition. It's the hardest part, right? But it's also the most important part. You cannot, and I will repeat this, you cannot out-exercise a bad diet. You know those people who run and run and run and run like marathons and they're running every day, but they don't look slim and trim. It's because strictly cardio or strictly working out just doesn't work. You gotta lift weights and you gotta eat right. And that is just the fact. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is probably gonna be a little controversial, but I want you all to attempt it because it is worth it. My entire family is gluten-free. No, it's not a fad. No, it's not a diet. I'm eliminating something that I legitimately think is a poison to my body and a poison to my mind. And I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to give you some resources so you can do your own research. So, what is gluten? It's a protein that is found in wheat flour, mostly, and some other flours, but mostly we relate it to wheat flour products. And why do I not like it? We've been raised to believe that whole wheat and whole grain is healthy, right? No. It used to be, yes. And when God created it, it was perfectly valid. If you want to go back and get that wheat that God created and give it to me, fine. But unfortunately, what we've done over the past 50 years or so is genetically modified it with good intentions, right? When things are genetically modified, it's to make more of it, to make it easier to distribute for the farmers and for consumers and all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, when you genetically modify something, it doesn't take into account that your body wasn't made to digest that, right? So it's now a science thing that you're putting into your body. So the wheat and the bread and the things that your grandparents ate when they were in their 18, 19, 20s is completely different. It is legitimately a different, it's a different grain. It is not the same. It doesn't even look the same. It does not even look the same. So, that's like the biggest reason, but why? What does it do? Well, there's a reason that celiac disease and gluten sensitivity is on the rise. It's not because people are crunchy. It's not because people are crazy and are just following this diet fad and they want to eat processed foods that are, you know, gluten-free in a box or whatever. You know, it's more expensive. Why would somebody do that? It's because the genetically modified product, when you put it into your body, it doesn't respond the same. You might say, oh, hey, I don't have celiac, I don't have gluten sensitivity. Yes, you do. You do. You just don't know how it affects you because it affects every body differently because every body is different. So, for example, let me give you some ways that it can affect you. Do you have acne, depression, weight gain around your belly, bad mood, skin issues like rosacea? Do you get brain fog? Do you have difficulty losing weight? Do you have hormone imbalances? All of those things are affected, believe it or not, by wheat. So I'm just going to tell you exactly what's happened to my family as a result of giving it up. When I originally gave it up, now there are some other health things that have come into place since then, but when I originally gave up gluten, I was blown away because I'm not really a morning person. I was waking up with no issues. I was like, how is this even possible? I'm rolling out of bed and I have energy. My husband doesn't have the afternoon slumps anymore. My mom lost her brain fog. My sister lost like 30 pounds because wheat actually encourages belly fat, which is actually the worst kind of fat for you. It's the most unhealthy kind of fat. Trying to think. Keegan, his attitude improved when we took him off wheat, and I do feel like it affects his energy levels and attitude when he cheats because he'll go over to friends' houses or whatever and not be as strict as we are. So I do think that it affects him. I don't really have rosacea anymore. I had rosacea. It was really weird. It was like little bumps on my face, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have this forever, and I had to apply like this topical cream and all this kind of stuff. So just a few ways. Oh, and we across the board have found that maintaining or losing weight is much, much easier than before we switched. So just a couple things personally. Now this is the scary part for you guys, and I know it, but I want to assure you that it's possible because I have been there and I was a breadaholic. I promised you if I went to a restaurant, I would get the bread, I would eat the bread, and I'd be like, why am I buying food? Because I've eaten so much bread because I love it so much. So I promise it's possible, but this is, I know it's scary, but this is what I want you to do. I would like for you to try to go cold turkey for a minimum of 2 weeks with no wheat products, no breads, no pastas, no cereals, nothing that has gluten or wheat flour in it. Why? Why not step it down? Why not eliminate it slowly? I'll tell you why. There's actually some proteins in it that make it addictive, not in the same way as heroin or something like that, but it actually stimulates your appetite. It makes you more hungry. It actually makes you crave carbs, wheat, more when you eat it. So you ever eat that piece of bread, you want the other piece of bread, right? You're at the restaurant, you're like, I can't just eat one breadstick. That's why, okay? It stimulates your appetite. You eat more. I actually will attach some information here for you so that you can do some research on your own, but really quickly, I want to read this to you. Wheat is addictive in the sense that it comes to dominate thoughts and behaviors. Addictive in the sense that if you don't have any for several hours, you start to get nervous, foggy, tremulous, and start desperately seeking out another hit of crackers, bagels, bread, even if it's the few stale 3-month-old crackers at the bottom of the box. Wheat is addictive in the sense that there is a distinct withdrawal syndrome, which, by the way, you will notice that there is withdrawal. And you're just going to have to, I mean, trust me that when you have to go through a withdrawal period, it means that it's bad for you. So go through it, and you might get some headaches. Don't feel bad about taking ibuprofen. Drink your water. But you got to get through it, because what that's saying is that your body is eliminating something that's bad for you. Anyways, getting back to it. Addictive in the sense that withdrawal process can be provoked by administering an opiate blocking drug such as naloxone or naltrexone, but the high of weed is not the same as like Oxycontin. The opiate, while it binds the opiate receptors of the brain, doesn't make us high, it makes us hungry. Exactly what we're trying to avoid. So if you want to avoid hunger, eating that whole grain piece of wheat toast for breakfast thinking it's healthy is not going to help you. It just is not. And just as an example, I just want you to think about this when you're thinking about addictions, when you're thinking about taking something out. If you were a heroin addict and you were trying to get clean, would you just kind of taper it off? No, because if you are injecting yourself with heroin once a week, you're not going to officially withdraw. You're not officially going to allow your body the time to heal, and you're not going to see the effects of actually being off the addiction, right? Because you keep putting it in your body. It's the same thing with breadsticks. It's the same thing with bagels. It's the same thing with whole grain bread, okay? If you do not give yourself the time to heal, the time to withdraw, the time to get off of it, you're not going to know how it actually affects your body, because like I said, it affects everyone differently. So you have to give yourself the opportunity to see how it affects you. And then I guarantee you, if you do this and you bring it back in, your stomach's going to hurt, or you're going to break out, or you're going to all of a sudden have this energy drop because it's not good for you, and you've given your body the opportunity to get it out of its system and to heal, and when you bring it back in, it's not going to feel good. So challenge number 1. I'm sorry, it's the hardest one, but that is why I wanted to put it up front first and foremost, so that you have this entire month to do it. Now, if you are following one of my meal plans, it's not going to be a problem. You won't even realize that you're not eating breadsticks, that you're not eating bread, that you're not having whole wheat toast, because you're eating all this other good food. If you're following your own meal plan, just eliminate it. Make sure you're eating enough vegetables, meat, fruits, nuts, that sort of thing, and you won't even notice it. You might start to get headaches. Drink your coffee, take your ibuprofen. It's all right. You will make it. You will survive, and I promise you that you will see results from it.